Hello everybody, and welcome to the Conference Championship edition of this ridiculous video series. And hello to my coworkers who have recently discovered that I do this. I'm sure there will be no negative ramifications to seeing what I do on my weekends whatsoever. Well, I don't have to tell any of you that the Vikings are out of it, but I thought I would come on a little bit and chat quick about today's games anyway, because there is a representative in the NFC North, and I still have some needs to discuss. This week, I am drinking the Psychopomp Sour Cherry Mead from Havoc Mead. It's a sour cherry mead, 6.9% alcohol by volume. Psychopomp is a Belgian-style mead brewed with sour cherries at high temperatures to create a tart, full-bodied mead. Named after the beings that bring those from the land of the living to the land of the dead, it is extremely popular in both realms. Let's see if I can't do this one-handed. Heck yeah. Skull, feel it there. Ooh. Okay, so definitely tart, but not in a bad way. It's like almost like a dry, like if you go to Door County, like a dry cherry wine almost. There's a bit of fizz. Definitely not a like a sweet cherry kind of thing like a pop or a soda for some of you. Tart and kind of almost like a cranberry astringency to it. I like it personally. I could see some people, thinking it would taste like one of the sours that I've had on here. Some of the sweetness that you'd expect to have in a drink like that. Not the case. It's tart. Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to do too many of these in a row, just because it's a little bit bitter, but this one's going to be very refreshing and easy to enjoy. So thank you, Havoc Mead, for this delicious, delicious Psychopomp Tart Cherry Mead. All right. Obviously, I'm not out in I'm not up in the studio because it is approaching 40 here at the end of January. But we have football games to discuss, and I guess we'll just go game by game. In the AFC, the Chiefs have somehow luck-boxed their way back into the championship game, despite spending an entire year frustrating everybody with their huge cast of underperforming wide receivers. They're going to Baltimore to face the Ravens, whose defense, I heard it described as like the NFL triple crown of like leading the league in sacks and quarterback pressures and takeaways, or maybe it's sacks and takeaways and the fewest points allowed or something. Really, really solid defense, especially in the secondary. So I would never bet a whole lot of money against Patrick Mahomes, but I have to expect that the Ravens get it done here at home and advance to the Super Bowl. But Mahomes and Andy Reid are kind of wizards. So if they do get it done, I think it's going to be on the back of Travis Kelce. I think Rashee Rice gets locked down by Kyle Hamilton, but it'll be an interesting game to watch for sure. When it comes to really solid schemes versus really talented opposition, I love seeing how that shakes out. And the NFL is a weird place, so anything can happen. More pertinent to the Vikings is the NFC Championship game. The Lions, yes, those Lions, are playing against, or are going to, I should say, San Francisco to play the 49ers. The 49ers are, by all accounts, a juggernaut that can't be stopped, except by the Vikings. The question mark for them is always, is Brock Purdy actually good, or is he a system quarterback? Does it really matter when every offensive weapon he has is an all-star? The 49ers are a team that frustrates me from a fantasy standpoint, because if you're trying to pick which player is going to go off between Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, CMC, well, he's a given, or George Kittle gets forgotten. George Kittle gets forgotten sometimes because there's so much talent on that offense. They're going up against the Lions' Swiss cheese defense, especially their secondary. So it seems very likely that the 49ers steamroll the Lions. The Lions have been largely built on their offense, and Jared Goff does not perform nearly as well on the road as he does at home, but it's hard to bet against Amon-Ra St. Brown. The thing is, the 49ers have a really good like linebacker kind of interior defensive front. So that's where both Amon-Ra St. Brown and their tight end, Sam Laporta, do a lot of their damage. So I guess I'd be concerned that the Lions maybe can't get anything going. It's going to come down, again, kind of alternatively, where like the Chiefs have some deficiencies in their offensive skill core, but they have a really good coach and a really good quarterback. I feel like the Lions have a lot of talent, but do they have the coaching to overcome a really, really tough defensive matchup? I don't want to get into this too much right now. Maybe I'll save it for the Super Bowl or even after the Super Bowl. But I'm cheering for the Lions today. I know a lot of Vikings fans are split on this because, well, they're a division opponent. I would not go so far as to call them a division rival. It has been extremely one-sided, the Vikings versus the Lions over the years. And as a team that hasn't won the Super Bowl, shouldn't we be rooting for another team that hasn't won the Super Bowl to get it done this year? If the Lions can get there, anybody can. So I will be supporting the Lions today. We will have to, at some point, dive into what it means for the Vikings if the NFC North is an arms race, if the Packers are once again good, and the Lions are competitive, and the Bears also show up and play football. That's for another time. Until the Super Bowl, thank you all for watching. Welcome to my new viewers. Skål för there. And go Vikings. And to a lesser extent, the Lions.